guys, I'm Missy, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So this is another video in my monthly makeup series, and these are going to be my thoughts for all of the products that were picked by the spin wheel or the roulette wheel for June. So just gonna dive right in like I always do. I'm gonna start with primer because we go in the order of how I do my makeup. So this was, I think it's called Teeez is the brand. This is their Suit of Armor Battle Prep Mattifying Face Primer. I got this in my Ipsy glam bag, I believe it was. It does a good job of mattifying. It does have a bit of a cooling sensation as well. I have been enjoying it. I typically don't tend to use mattifying primers very often, but so far this one has been a good one, and it's been holding up to the Florida heat so far, so definitely enjoy this. Okay, after that, then I do my brows, and the two brow products that were chosen was the Milani Precision Brow of the shade 160 Ebony. I really enjoy these like micro nano brow pencils because I can be more precise with them. This is it's more pigmented than like a soft black brow pencil, but it's still not as dark as I like it, but it still is pretty much up to par to how I prefer. I just wish it was a little bit darker, but I do really like this pencil. It's very easy to use. The brow gel, this is their Shape and Set Clear Brow Gel. I do like this more than the other one that I used in my full face of Sephora, because this one is more kind of like the typical laminating type ones that I find where it has like a flat edge and then it has this side. Is this my favorite brow gel ever? No. Does it work in a pinch? Yes. So yeah, it doesn't like ball up on me as much as the, I think it was like the Fluff and Wax or something like that one did. That one I don't like. This one I can use, but I definitely have brow gels that I like a lot more than this. Okay. Then let's see, let's go in with face products. So then I go in with my foundation, and this is a little mini that I bought off of Ipsy of the Fenty Soft Matte foundation. This is a Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear foundation. I have the shade 190. I think this is a decent shade for me that I can see so far, and I really like this. It dries down to have this like very kind of like filtered look. I mean, it is called Pro Filter, so maybe that's why. It's just very kind of like smoothing on the skin. It looks really nice, and it doesn't take long for it to dry down, but it has enough time that you can work with it, you know? So it doesn't dry down to the point that you can't move it, but it does dry down pretty quickly. To the point where I think I could probably get away with maybe not like fully setting this. I may have to try that out since it, you know, it is a soft matte as well, but I do really like this. Right, then we have the concealer that was chosen, and this is technically just a brightening concealer. This is from Rare Beauty. Again, another Ipsy. I think I got this in Ipsy. It was either an extra or an icon. I can't remember which. I have this shade Light Medium. Now, as just a concealer, I don't like because it's not a lot of coverage, but it doesn't claim to be a concealer. It's a brightener. Love it as a brightener. My only critique is I hate this like metal ball applicator. I know it's supposed to be kind of like cooling, but it makes it kind of difficult to pick up the product. I have to kind of dip in and scrape multiple times to get enough product to do under my eyes. So that's the only thing I'd want to change about this, but I do really like the formula, and I do think it does a good job of brightening the under eyes. Okay. Um, so then we'll go in with cream bronzer, and the cream bronzer that was chosen is actually new to my collection. This is the L'Oreal LUMI Bronze Lace Stick in the shade 110 Toasted Sunlight, which is a light medium. I love this. This is so creamy, so easy to blend, and just looks very natural on the skin. Very, very nice formula. Love it. And it gives like a bit of a glow as well. So if you don't like a glow to your bronzer, you might not like it. Okay. Liquid blush was chosen was from Lunar Beauty, and this is their Moon Prism blush in, I think it's, yeah, Fuego Fuchsia. This one I have to make sure I do like one dot on each area and then blend, because it is a pretty like vibrant shade, but it is very, very easy to blend as long as you're careful of how much you apply. But I love this formula. I have every single one of the Moon Prism liquid blushes, and I love every single one so far. So yeah, definitely keeping that one in my collection. This is new to my collection. I got this from Ipsy, and this is from, I believe the brand is called Reina Rebelde. It's always kind of hard to read it with the type of font that they chose. But this is, I forget what it was called, but it's some sort of highlighter stick, and I'll have it in the description what it's called, because it doesn't say it on the actual product itself. I don't even think it has the name. I think it was like, oh, there it is, Sueno. That's the name of it, but it doesn't actually name like the product. But it's a cream stick highlighter, so it does have a cover. I do make sure that I try to put the cover back on. I love this. This is one of those, pretty much along with my e.l.f. cream stick highlighter, my My Little Pony one from Beauty Creations, my what was the other one, Play Beauty one. This is on par with those as like my favorite kind of cream everyday shade. So yeah, I'm happy to have this in my collection and keep using it. Just gives that nice little subtle glow, especially for like no makeup days. So very, very nice and easily blendable. Okay, then let's see, that should be all the cream face products. Let's go into powder. So the bronzer that was chosen for powder was this Wet n Wild Megaglo contouring palette. My sister gave this to me because she had it in her collection. She didn't want it anymore. I have the shade Caramel Toffee. So this is kind of released like the old school contouring days. It's very, very powdery. And if you pick up too much, it is kind of hard to blend this bronzer. So I have to be careful how much I dip in. But I don't like the fact that it gets so powdery that I have to be careful that I'm not kicking up a bunch of powder all over my desk when I use it. It's a nice shade, but again, you know, I said you gotta be careful how much you pick up. This shade I've just been using, instead of like the way that it kind of intended, it was to like set like under your contour and stuff. I've just kind of been using it in place with my eyeshadow palette as my kind of blending out shade to help soften things up, and it worked well for that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end up passing this on my next declutter because I have much better powder bronzers in my collection that I don't really need to keep this. So yeah, definitely not my favorite. All right, so next we have my powder blush. So the powder blush that was chosen is from Melt, and this is the Chill Powder Blush. This is new to my collection. I really like Melt's powder blush formula. I can give or take the cream ones. They're not my favorite, but my sister really loves the cream ones, so I usually end up giving them to her when I get them in like mystery boxes and stuff. But I really, really like this one. This is kind of like that perfect neutral shade for me. This is just kind of like that perfect neutral shade for me. And it helps kind of soften some blushes that may be too bright for me when I apply them. So I really, really like having this in my collection. I think I can utilize this a lot. Okay, so the face palette that was chosen is from Lunar Beauty. It's the Moon Prism blush. I've had the Nude Prism blush in here as well in a previous monthly, and love these are some of my favorite, and I love these. These are some of my favorite blush palettes. They just kind of have the perfect tones for like everyday shades, and you know, some formulas are matte, some formulas are glowy. I think this one actually is all matte. I think this one right here might be glowy, and maybe a little bit of that one, but they're not like overly sparkly or anything. They're just a hint of a glow. So I really, really like these formula. Very easy to blend. Don't have any issues with them. Love them. All right, so the highlighter palette that was chosen, or highlighter that was chosen, is from Glamlite. This is their Fresh Prince of Bel-Air collab. This is the California Fresh Prince palette. So Glamlite has a tendency to do very glittery highlights, which are not my favorite. Well, where these are sparkly, I can sheer them out enough that they don't have like glitter all over my face, and I can use this one. I've used this one and this one as kind of like blush toppers as well. I don't really dip into this one too much. Like, I may mix it with this one to kind of lighten it a little bit, but I do like the formula so far. Is it my favorite highlights because of the sparkle and the glitter? No. I prefer something with more sheen, but I can make this work unlike some of their super glittery highlights. But again, that's just personal preference. Okay, let's see. Setting powder. The setting powder that was chosen is from Lunar Beauty. So this is his Lunarversal setting powder, and this is translucent pink. I believe I already had translucent light in as well. I typically only tend to use this for my under eyes, but this month I've actually been using it to set my face, which has come in handy because the foundation, when I first applied it, because I applied too much, was a little bit too kind of yellowy looking, and this kind of helped balance it out. Now that I know not to apply as much of the foundation, I have a better match to how it looks with my concealer and everything. But I've discovered that I can actually use this on my face too, and it sets down pretty nicely. It controls the oil, it smooths. I do have to be a little careful that I don't go overboard with it, because it can, I notice, start to settle a little bit in my fine lines and wrinkles if I use too much. So there is that, but usually I can go in with like a spray, like a hydrating spray, and kind of help it. So there is that, but I do really like this formula. It's really nice, finely milled. I have the setting spray, which is kind of like settled in my drawer here. This is the Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray from Catrice. This came in handy when I needed, if I over applied the powder. Since it is a fixing spray and it is glowy, I utilize this a lot for that. Now, as far as setting down my makeup, yeah, it doesn't really give me longevity, this one. They have some that do, like the oil control one and the mattifying one, but they're also not the best setting sprays I have in my collection. But I really, really like their glowy formula, because it gives a very, very nice natural glow back to the skin when you use them, and I will utilize this a lot as the fixing spray, especially since I'm almost out of my MAC Fix Plus, and this is a more affordable option than that. So yeah, I like it for that, but as for like longevity throughout the day, not so much. Okay, so let's go in. Let's start with eyes. So the eyeshadow primer that was chosen is from Sephora, and this is the Boost Plus Lock 12-Hour Wear Eye Primer. I don't care for this. This is kind of like a slippy formula. It's not as bad as like the Urban Decay ColourPop type slippy. This is a little less slippy than that, but I will say I'm just not a fan of this formula. It's just not for me. So I'll definitely be passing this along, just simply because it's just not the type that I prefer. I prefer something that's more pigmented and a little more thick than that. Like my Sigma eyeshadow bases, my Glamlite, my ABH, that type is the type I like. This is just not for me, so I end up passing this along. I do think now that I have done the spin wheel, unless I get a new eye primer in my collection, I believe I have used every single eye primer in my collection. So if that's the case, when I go to choose next month, I may or may not spin and just start over, or I may just start picking my own. I haven't decided yet, but just stay tuned for that for July. Okay, so moving on to more of the eye. So the single shadow that was chosen is No Shock, a Supershock shadow. This is Deep Dive. I do not like this one. It's a little too dark for my liking, and even though it looks very sparkly in here, it just doesn't come off like that on the eyes. I'm just not wowed by it at all. So for that reason, I'm gonna end up letting this go my next declutter. I like something lighter when I'm putting like shimmers on my eyes, unless I'm going like an outer corner or outer V type thing, but then I tend to do more of a matte and a transition darker shimmer, and I'm going to use a palette for that more than I'm going to use a single shadow. Single shadows I like to use more as like one and done and like super sparkly, impactful. So yeah, I'm going to let this go when my declutter comes back around. Let's see. Okay, so eyeliners. We have a cream gel liner from ColourPop, of course, and this is the shade Be My BB. This is a metallic kind of like burgundy. I love ColourPop's cream gel liners. They're my favorite. They're definitely in my top 3, if not my top 2. I kind of go back and forth between this and the Essence ones. ColourPop has more variety of colors though, so I will say that. But I don't have any problem with this. Glides in the eyes, looks very, very nice, very pretty, stays all day. I love ColourPop's cream gel liners. Alright, then we have a liquid liner, and this is the Kat Von D Dagger Tattoo Liner in Trooper Black. This was a very popular liner back in the day. I'm not good at wings, like I've been practicing, but I'm still not that great at them. How I tend to use this is when I wear lashes and I have that line between where the lashes start and my line of my eye begins. I like to connect those so it looks more cohesive. So that's what I use this mostly for, because it stays put and does not move, and it's not so liquidy that if my eyes tear up that it washes away right away, because I've had that problem with like L'Oreal ones and stuff being a little too liquidy for that. But this is kind of like the perfect consistency and the perfect type of brush applicator type. So yeah, I really like this. I've already went through one. This is my second one. Okay, let's go with the palette now to continue with the eyes. So the palette that was chosen is from Moon Splice Beauty. This is their Blue Moon palette. Their mattes in this palette are really, really nice. And their shimmers are nice too, but again, they're just not my preference of impact for shimmers. They are more your, they're not quite just satiny shimmers. They're a little more impactful than that. This is definitely on my chopping block for my eyeshadow palette declutter. I do want to use a couple more of the shimmers in here before I make my full decision. But yeah, right now it's not looking so good. But the formula of the mattes, like, they're very easy to blend. I don't have any problem whatsoever. They're pigmented, just great. I do wish there was a little more than just this one shade in here to kind of help with, which this is more of a shimmer, to help blend out, because that's where I utilize the Wet n Wild contour palette to kind of soften my eye looks a little bit. So there is that. Because I tend to like my palettes to have more of a variety to help create my looks the way I like to create them. But yeah, it's definitely on my chopping block. It's not a horrible palette or anything like that. It is very good quality, and you get a nice mirror in this one. I got this with Ice Cream Beauty, I believe it was, which I no longer get Ice Cream Beauty box, because you guys will see I don't really unbox them anymore because I had to cancel because I didn't receive my April or my May box, and I'm in the process of trying to get my money back for that because I've never received them. So yeah, unfortunately I don't know what's going on with them. I wasn't affiliated with them. I just enjoyed getting the box myself and unboxing it for my channel, but I will no longer be doing that because of what occurred. Okay, but anyways, back to this. Definitely on my chopping block for my next declutter. Okay, sticking with eyes, we have the mascara, and this is new to me. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Indecent Mascara. I got this through Ipsy, as most of my makeup anymore is. It has a decent wand. It is a little different, where it like tapers off. I kind of like that type. The only thing is I don't like the brush that they kind of use. I wish it was a little more silicone than this type of brush. Does this work? Yes, it is a very wet formula. It takes a little bit for it to dry down. It works. It's pigmented, but again, it's not the best mascara for lengthening and volumizing I have in my collection. I have much better mascaras, but I will continue to use it till it's gone because it is a decent mascara. It's not horrible or anything like that. It's just not the best for my collection. Alright, so now I think we're ready for lip products. So we have the lip mask that was chosen, and this came in my Catrice Advent Calendar. This is the CO1 Star Glaze Lip Mask. So first of all, the packaging is kind of annoying because it's a little hard to open. As you can see, I kind of already had it like half open. I hate this. I'm sorry, but it is like old school kid, like, lipstick palette feeling. It is so sticky, so gummy feeling. I hate this. This is one of the worst lip masks I've ever used, and it doesn't even really last that long on the lips either, because for me a lip mask needs to stay on and nourish my lips while I'm putting on my makeup until I'm ready to either wipe it off or be thin enough that it like wears off but still nourishes my lips. This just feels like a sticky old school kid gloss. So, no thank you. Okay. Lip liners. So, I have a couple lip liners that I pulled out. And I think, let me pull the two that were chosen. Because two I just threw in to match with their matching lip liner, or their lipsticks. So, yeah, let's see. Okay. I pulled, I believe I pulled these two in to go with the matching lipsticks, but I like these formulas. Are really, really nice. This is Michaela Part 2 collection from Glamlite, and then a NYX Line Loud Trophy Life shade. So really, really nice. Love these. Great formulas. Okay, so the two that were chosen, whoops, one is from Makeup Revolution and the Clueless collab. This is the second time they did the Clueless collab, and this is the shade Way Harsh. First of all, you gotta kind of enjoy this bulky packaging. It's a bit of a pain to store in a drawer or like with my other lip liners because it does take up so much space. So there is that, but I mean, it's the aesthetic because it's Clueless and is supposed to represent the Clueless pen that Cher uses. So I like the aesthetic for that. It's just a little hard to store. The shade itself is really nice. Even though it is a wooden pencil liner, it is very creamy. As you guys can see how easily that glided on. And this is one of my favorite shades of like a brown. I mean, it reminds me of the 90s lip liners. So that shade paired with like a lighter lipstick, I think is really pretty. So yeah, I love this formula. Definitely going to be continuing to keep in my collection. Now we have the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Lip Liner in the shade Blaze. So this is kind of like a pinky purple shade. These are starting to dry out a little bit on me. I have had them a while. So like that one went on super easy. This one didn't go on horribly, but it does tug just a tad bit now. And I think that is simply because they are starting to dry. So my next lip liner declutter, I may have to start evaluating a lot more of these to see what I want to keep. And I will say this shade right here is typically a shade I do not like on myself. I ended up having to pair it with the Trophy Life one to tone it down for the lip combo that I did, because I simply didn't like this brighter pink, like brighter pinky fuchsia purple pink. Just not, I don't like that color on me. So yeah, this kind of toned it down to more of like a mauvey tone paired together. So I did like the lip combo like that, but this on itself, yeah, unfortunately I think it's just going to be a no for me. The lipsticks that were chosen is of course the lip duo from NYX, and this is the matching lip duo to this lip liner, which is Trophy Life. Love this combo. One of my favorite like mauvey pinky shades, but like not overly pink. So very nice. Love this formula. Definitely gonna continue to use in my collection. And then obviously the lipstick that was chosen is from the Michaela Glamlite Part 2 collection, and then, you know, the matching lip liner I threw in. Love the component on these. And again, it's just another like mauvey shade. This one is a little darker, but it paired really nicely with the Trophy Life lip liner. It paired nicely with this one, you know, kind of toned it down a little bit, and it paired really nice one with this one. So it pairs real good with a lot of different lip liners in my collection. So yeah, definitely keeping. It is a pretty long-lasting formula. As long as I don't put a gloss or anything over it, it can kind of stay through like a couple drinks and meals. So that's nice. I didn't realize that when I had used it in the past, because I always kind of put a gloss over it from the collection, but I didn't this time around, except for one lip combo that you will see go up. So yeah, nice formula, and it's not drying, so definitely like. The lip gloss that was chosen is from Unearthly, and this is from their Gargoyle collection, and this is their Ghoul Glaze in Gargoyle Gloom. I love Unearthly's lip glosses. Okay guys, I'm sorry for the lighting. Unfortunately, both of my lights have died. So, and I cannot turn the flash on. Let me see if I can with this video. I may have to brighten the rest of this up in editing. I apologize. Yeah, unfortunately I cannot use the flash with my camera, or the light with my camera in this setting, unfortunately. But what I was saying is I love Unearthly's lip glosses. They are so pretty, so sparkly, and just have like these gorgeous shifts to them, right? You will see in the lip combo that I did with this just how pretty this gloss is before I like sheared it out on my lips. So gorgeous. Love, love, love this formula and the color. All right, and then the last lip product was a lip kit that came from the ColourPop Eclipse collection, and this was my first time using it. This is the New Love, which is Jasper and Alice's lip combo. So I love these lip combos that ColourPop is doing with these lip liners and lippy sticks, especially these newer lippy sticks, because these newer lippy sticks are not dry. I just went through a lot of my lippy sticks in my previous declutter, and a lot of that formula was really dry. This is not. This is a very nice, comfortable lippy stick formula. I really, really like this. And I love ColourPop's lip liners, especially since they've kind of redone the packaging. The older packaging, I have issues with the lip liner like falling out after I sharpen them, but I haven't had that issue with the new packaging that they've done. So yeah, really, really like this lip combo. So, so pretty. All right, and then lastly, I'm remembering this time to do it, is the fragrance that was chosen. This is a sample size, or like a travel size, that I got from Ipsy. This is the Memoir brand, the scent 08 Candy Shop. So I like this scent. This is a very nice sweet gourmand scent, but it has a horrible longevity. It wears off on me in about an hour, and if I'm going to end up using something like this, I want it to last. If I want it, I don't think it's a body mist. I have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be an eau de toilette or an eau de parfum. But yeah, it has no longevity whatsoever on me. I wish it did, because it is one of my favorite like sweet scents. Literally what I've started trying to do with this is I'll get a more sweet, long-lasting scent, and I'll pair this with it, because it's a decent amount. Well, it might almost be empty. Let me see. Let me open it up and look down in here. Yeah, I've probably got maybe 2 or 3 more uses out of this. So, yeah, I'll probably just either pass it along, since I have so many fragrances, or I may just continue to use it up, pairing it with another sweet fragrance. I try different ones with it, but I can't just wear it on its own because it just doesn't have a good longevity for me. So yeah, there is that. But you guys should be proud of me. I remembered to review the fragrance this month and tell you my thoughts. I always forget because I tend not to put it back here. Like, this is small enough I can put in the drawer, but when it's like my bigger bottles, I tend to keep it with all my perfume on my dresser vanity in my bedroom. So then when I come back here and film it, I forget to pull it in here, and then I go and edit, and I'm like, ah, crap, I forgot again. So yeah, I apologize for not reviewing the last couple. I'm trying to do better, but you know, I'm only human. I make mistakes. Okay, so those are all my thoughts for all the products that were picked for June. Like I said, I really enjoy filming these videos and going through my products and using what I have in my collection. It's really, really helping me not just use what I have and keeping me from buying as much product, but it's also helping me learn what works for me and what doesn't work for me in my makeup collection, and my likes and my dislikes. It's really helped me narrow it down. So if you guys want to do this as well, feel free to tag me, especially if you're a content creator and you want to do like a monthly makeup thing, or maybe you do a weekly or a bi-weekly or something like that. I'd love to see your videos as well. Yeah, so again, you know, I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers. Unfortunately, I did not reach it by June like I wanted to. I came very close. I got up to 490, but then YouTube being YouTube took a couple away, so now I'm at 488. So now my new goal is I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of this year. So Like I said, I'm at 488 as of today, and when I reach 500 subscribers, I plan to do a giveaway. So I really, really need your guys' help. So if you haven't, and you enjoy this type of content, beauty content, reviews, monthly makeup, using what you have, unboxings, all that good stuff, take a moment and like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out, and I would appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Bye.